Peeps! Every year, there's at least one movie that comes out that has Halloween Horror Nights fans saying, yes, that would make a perfect Halloween Horror Nights house. And last year, we had that movie with Sinners. Now, before we continue with anything, let me go ahead and make sure that we understand, we have an understanding. This is all speculation, this is all rumors. Nothing has been officially confirmed by Universal Orlando Resort, Universal Studios Hollywood, or any Universal destinations and experiences. This is just rumors that are online that Sinners may be coming to this year's Halloween Horror Nights event, which, the more you look at it, kind of makes sense, honestly. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in this video. So if you don't know what Sinners is a supernatural horror film written and directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan in a dual role as twin brothers. It's set in the 1930s American South, leans hard into Southern Gothic horror, religion, folklore, slow, creeping supernatural threat. It's definitely a little bit of a slow burn for the first half of the film as it builds up this supernatural vampiric presence before delving into the second half of the film, where the vampires and the main story thread combine into one long action set piece. It leans strong into vampiric and cult-like elements, but it's all grounded in folklore and faith. It's not just a jump scare CGI film. It's got those things, but it's also got, one of the things that I really love about the movie Sinners is that it rises above just being a horror film, but also has commentary on the power of music and faith and things like that. And it's just, of my top movies of 2025, I'd say it's one of my top three. My top three movies of 2025 were probably Sinners, F1, and Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro. But Sinners is definitely in the conversation. And not just me. The film has picked up the most Academy Award nominations for any single film of all time, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, several technical categories. And as you know, that's rare for any horror-leaning film, right? Horror doesn't normally get recognized in things like the Academy Awards. We've seen it in the past. Again, Guillermo del Toro with The Shape of Water, but like the most Oscar nominations of any movie of all time, that's huge. Is it going to win all of them? Probably not. But the fact that horror was recognized to that level, and that this film crossed the boundary beyond being just a horror movie, but also to an award season contender, is huge, and a prime reason why it's going to stay in the cultural mindset, the cultural zeitgeist for 2026. So visually, this is where we start talking about how this turns into like HHN gold, right? Like why it's a prime property for Halloween Horror Nights. The movie practically has a blueprint for a perfect Halloween Horror Nights house. You've got old churches, candlelit interiors, southern rural exteriors. These are things that HHN structurally has always been strong at, right? HHN always has amazing facades, especially in Universal Studios Orlando or Universal Orlando Resort. So, thinking about some of the structures, whether it's the farmhouse, the church, some of the elements from this movie, bringing those forward into a Halloween Horror Nights house, pretty perfect. Additionally, Sinners also has repeatable threats, something that you can encounter over and over in the house without confusion, right? So I'm talking about things like vampiric figures, characters that you may see as human in one part of the house but are vampires by the end of the house. But you can have it's not a lot of work. These vampires in the film aren't like heavily make-upped. They become monstrous, but they're not like like giant puppetry CGI make-upped characters. So these are you can have vampires throughout the house just by putting them in period appropriate attire. Hey, now you've got Sinners, right? So I think that's it makes itself lend itself to pretty easily costuming these characters and bringing them into a Halloween Horror Nights house. And the thing is that this type of movie, especially because Halloween Horror Nights does original properties, it doesn't need you to understand the plot of the movie, right? It doesn't need you to really have even seen the movie to understand we've got some type of 1930s era speakeasy bar. that has been invaded by a vampiric presence, as it was in the movie. So, just by getting that, just saying it out loud, it almost sounds a little bit like a Halloween Horror Nights original, right? But in this case, it's actually an IP based on a very popular movie. And you can adapt even some of the more iconic scenes from the movie. We have some great iconic moments from the movie. You've got mostly related to music, right? Which is kind of an interesting sound element that you can bring into a Halloween Horror Nights house. You've got kind of this cross-time musical moment where music across time blends together to show the power of music and how it can literally unlock the supernatural. You've also got a pretty cool Irish dancing moment later in the film where the Irish dancers kind of or where the vampires kind of all combine into one kind of Irish dancing moment. It's a pretty cool moment, and if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. But in addition to that, obviously you've got a ton of great moments in the film, in the bar, the farmhouse or whatever, in which the vampires are attacking. Tons of great moments that can be recreated in a Halloween Horror Nights house. And if Sinners is coming to Halloween Horror Nights, this is basically the year to do it, right? This is when Sinners is at its maximum threshold of popularity. Now, obviously, I think there has been talk of additional movies in the franchise, in the universe. If you've seen the movie, there is certainly set up for perhaps more. But that being said, no saying if we'll see more. It perfectly works fine as a one and done as well. But that being said, it is so prevalent in our culture nowadays that if you're going to do a Sinners house, 2026 is the year to do it. You either do it in 2026 or you wait until it's a classic 25 years down the line like they do with other properties. Again, this is totally speculation. This is just rumors that we're seeing online. We didn't talk about it in our prior rumor video because we thought that because Sinners is such a big property, especially right now with the Academy Award nominations and stuff like that, we thought we'd just talk about it separately and get your thoughts on it, right? Leave us a comment down below. Would you like to see Sinners come into this year's Halloween Horror Nights event? If you haven't seen our prior video, I'm going to link it at the end of this video. Check that one out. Of the properties that are rumored, which one are you most looking forward to? What are you hoping to see at this year's event that may not be part of the rumors currently? Like I said, leave us a comment down below. We are in speculation season. We aren't yet in announcement season. That's probably coming in the next few months. Right now, speculation season. So let's speculate about Halloween Horror Nights, our favorite event of the year. So leave us a comment down below. While you're down there, give us a thumbs up on this video. It really helps us out to know what type of content you like to see. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know when we release our upcoming content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.